If you have a front load LG washer and your boot seal looks like this, it is time to clean it. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that and get it back to looking brand new. First thing you want to do is remove the lid from the top of the machine. To do that, you're going to take out 2 screws. You'll have one right here and one right here. Once you have those removed, you want to remove the lid from the top of the machine. You want to remove the dispenser for the detergent. And to do that, you're going to pull it out. You're going to push down on this, pull it out. You're going to want to remove this screw right here that holds the control panel in place. And then you have 2 screws right here that hold the dispenser in place. Next, you're going to want to come down here, open up this door, pull it off, remove this screw right here. And you might have a second screw, which if so, it's going to be right there. Then you can pull this out. There'll be one more screw that holds the door in place right there. Pull that out. After that, you're going to want to go ahead and remove this user interface panel. And to do that, sometimes you can just grab it and kind of pull back on it and it'll pop off. If that doesn't work, you can take a flathead screwdriver, just start on the end, get it up underneath there, pop it, work your way over a little bit. What you're trying to do is pop these little tabs out of place. Pop it again, and now it will come off. Just pull it off. And you can disconnect it if you want to. If you want to, there's some clips right here that you can disconnect and just pull the whole thing off. I usually don't do that. Usually I will just put it up on top here. Next, you're going to want to open up the door. There is a ring right here that holds the boot seal in place. So they sell tools on Amazon. It's like a spreader tool that you can use, and you can come down here and take it off. You do not need to spend the extra money to do that. All you need is a flathead screwdriver. Just come over here and carefully get up underneath it. And then pop it out towards you and pull it off. What you're going to want to do is remove the screws that hold the door in place. This particular washer, there are 6 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to remove those real quick. All right, now that you've got the screws removed, you're going to want to just let the door kind of come towards you. Reach over the top here, and you're going to want to disconnect the wire that runs to the door switch right here. Has a little tab that you just press in on it, pull it down, and then you can just pull your door completely off. All right, next thing we're going to do is we are going to take off these counterweights. There's one on the top here and one on the bottom. To remove these screws, you're going to want to use a 10mm socket. You take 4 screws out on this one. 1, 2, and the 4 screws down here on this one. And then you can remove the counterweights. And then it'll look like this. All right, next you're gonna wanna go ahead and disconnect any hoses that are running to your boot seal. On this particular model, there are 4 hoses, one up here, one on the side, one down here, and one on the left side. Not every model has that. Some might have 2 hoses that are running up here and this drain port down here, but nothing on the sides. So depending on your model, you just want to make sure that you look all the way around and disconnect any of those hoses that are connected to the boot seal. And then last is going to be if your boot seal has this wire coming from the top of it and has this light right here, then you'll want to come back up here and disconnect this red wire. And it does have a little, if you have that red wire, it's going to have this little tab right here that you have to squeeze and push through. I usually will just pull it off. Okay. Now that you've got all your hoses disconnected and your wire disconnected, you can go ahead and take your flathead screwdriver again. There is another spring that runs right here that connects your boot seal to the tub. So you just take your flathead screwdriver like this, work it underneath there again, pop it out, and your whole boot seal will come completely off. And then now you can really see, if you flip it over, you can really see how dirty and grimy these things get over time if you don't keep up with them. Now that you've got your boot seal removed, next is going to be to clean it. I used bleach from Dollar Tree and a container, and all we do is we take the boot seal, put it all the way into, oops, take this ring off here. All the way in to the bleach solution and just let it sit for about 12 to 24 hours, and it will remove all of the bacteria, mold, mildew, all the gunk that is on there. It's going to loosen it all up. Now do keep in mind that if your boot seal is really bad, like this one was super bad, probably one of the worst ones I've seen. If it has a bunch of stuff gunked up on it, the bleach is going to take most of it off, but you might have to, after like 8 to 12 hours, pull your boot seal out, wash it off, and then scrub it down, get as much gunk off of it as you can, and then pop it back in your bleach container for another 8 to 12 hours, just to so that the bleach is making contact with all of the mold and getting, being able to get rid of it. All right, it's been 24 hours. It's time to take it out and see what our boot seal looks like. All right, and now we're just gonna wash it off. Get some water and get up here and clean it all out. Now that we have it all washed off, hold it up here and you can see all the mold is gone. There's a lot of calcium deposits left over from this one, but once you get it back on, you can clean that. You can use some CLR, you can use a toothbrush, and you'll notice here, like if I scrub it a little bit, all that calcium deposit just comes right off. So, but as far as all the mold goes, it's completely gone, and you're back to having a fresh boot seal, mold free. Okay, now before you put your boot seal back on, grab yourself a towel. Just want to come over here and wipe this rim down. Just get any of the excess gunk that was left on there off. One of the things you want to do too is go ahead and take a flathead screwdriver, and you want to look down in here. This is your drain port that connects to the bottom of your boot seal. These will almost always be clogged up. You can do one of two things. You can either remove this clamp right here, take it off and clean it out, or you can just take a flathead screwdriver, stick it in here, and just force through anything that's inside of there, just so that the water will flow from your boot seal down through this drain port, so that your boot seal isn't holding water and getting an unnecessary opportunity to create mold and build up inside your machine. All right, so that's all cleared out. Now it's time for the boot seal to go back on. All right, so to put on our boot seal, you want to take the arrow at the top of the boot seal and you want to line it up with the arrow on the tub. And you're gonna just get your fingers underneath here and just kind of work it. Once you line that up, work it over that lip, and then just work it on all the way around. And then once you got it on there, just do a double check on the sides over here, and you just want to make sure that it's nice and flush all the way around before you try to put your ring on. Okay, and then you're going to take the spring that attaches the boot seal to this tub. Of the two, it's going to be the one that actually comes apart. The other one that holds it to the front panel doesn't come apart. And my experience is it's usually easiest if you do the spring part on the top up here, and you have the actual spring on the right hand side and the hook on the left hand side. And what you want to do is start down here. You're going to make sure that you go underneath this hose, come over here to the side, work this around here underneath, do the same thing on this side, and then come up here to the top and just hold it into place. And you want to make sure that it is tucked in to this little groove right here all the way around, and then you come up here and it should be about that close together. Can you see that there? How close the circle is to the hook. Like I said, you can go on Amazon and buy the spreader tool, but you don't have to do that. As long as you have a pair of needle nose pliers, you can come back up here. All right, so I will usually just move this out of the way. Like I said, don't forget that if you want to disconnect this, you can, and make it a little bit easier. I don't. I just drop it down a little bit. Take your needle nose pliers, grab the hook, hold on to the other side so it doesn't move, and then just pull and hook it together. All right, next you want to reconnect all your hoses. Pop this one in here, this one in here, and this one in here. So this clamp was stuck, so and then just secure your clamps back in place. 1, 2, and 3. I usually save the one up top for last. Okay. Next, you want to come back to grabbing your counterweights. I always put the bottom one in first. Makes it a little easier to put the top one in after the fact. So just come over here, put it on there, pop it in, and grab the one for the top, work it behind this hose, pop it on, grab your screws, screw all 8 screws back in. Now you can go ahead and reconnect this top hose. Put your clamp back on. Take your red wire that you had for the boot seal light, run it up through the back. Just connect it back to its plug. All right, so we're gonna put the door back on. You're gonna line up, there's holes, 3 slits in the bottom of your door. They're gonna line up with those pieces of metal coming up from the bottom. Tuck those back in there, push your door forward, come over here, grab your wire harness that connects to the door switch. Pop it back in. Make sure you push it in all the way. If you don't, you'll get an error code saying that your door isn't closed properly. Push it in. I usually just hold it with my hip. Take your screws, screw them back in. You're going to grab your dispenser here. Usually it'll fall out of place like that. Just kind of pop it up and work it through. Get your control panel. Put it back in place. Just kind of give it a little tap. It'll snap back on. Grab your screws. Hold this back in place. Grab your dispenser. Pop it back in there. Got your screw that holds in the control panel on this side that you want to put back. Okay, you want to put this screw back in here. You're going to take this piece, feed this hose back through. Take your 2 screws. Take your hose and put it in the holder. Pop the little door back on. All right, last but not least, we want to go ahead and get the boot seal worked over the lip of this door right here. So you can go ahead and pull it all the way through. I usually start at the top, work it over, and just work your way all the way around. Until it's nice and flush. You grab the ring that goes around this part. Make sure that you put the spring part at the bottom. I usually offset it just a little bit, not dead in the center. I put it a little bit to the right. I'm gonna work that into that little groove right there. I'll usually go about halfway up here on top and halfway on the bottom. And again, just using a pair of needle nose pliers. I'll grab it right here, and then just use force, force with your arm and your hand to push away from you, and finish wrapping it around, tucking it in to that groove. Got your boot seal back on. You're good to go, and you can see, like I said before, this was unbelievably moldy prior to this. Now it's all cleaned up as far as the mold and stuff goes. This is all soap scum, so we'll come in here with a little bit of CLR and an SOS pad, maybe even a toothbrush, and you can clean all that up if you do have that on there. All right, and here is the end result finished product after it's been scrubbed down with some CLR and an SOS pad. As you can see, pull this back, nice and clean. No more mold, no more stains, everything beautiful. Smells good too. If you guys have any questions or comments about anything that I covered, feel free to leave a comment in the section below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.